goal of Padres an impact or an incomplete team?
Okay, big question. Now, I don't want you grinding on me, yelling at me, cursing at me, but I'm going to ask some pointed questions. So the Padres have beat up teams with no pitching. Arizona's got the worst freaking relief corps I think I've seen in a long time. Arizona challenges the Dodgers for incompetency and lack of trustworthiness in the bullpen right now. And prior to that, they crashed St. Louis, which has just folded its tent. But I think the Padres still have things that have to be answered. I guess my statement would be for Padre fan on this podcast. We know potential of that pitching staff, but it's not proven right now because of health issues more than anything else. I mean, Nick Pivetta has been spectacular. Dylan Cease has had one real dominant outing, and the rest of it has been substandard. That's not vintage Dylan Cease. So are we wishing and hoping that one good outing is the springboard to the rest of the season, or is this a start-by-start thing with Dylan Cease? Yu Darvish, he had that mystical, magical appearance a start ago, but on either side of those starts, since coming off the DL, he's kind of been banged all over the yard. Huge question mark there. I am a little surprised that they have moved Michael King off the disabled list back into the rotation effective this weekend. He is going to start against the Boston Red Sox. He had one rehab outing, and he didn't really dominate at AAA. He kind of got banged around. We'll find out. They say he's healthy. He feels he's healthy, but is he close to being major league ready after just 1 3 1/3 outing where he kind of got lit up down at AAA El Paso? So I'm reserving judgment on all those guys. Obviously, the Cortez started after coming down from Milwaukee in the trade 2 years ago. That was a dominant left-hander. He had some good innings and rocky innings, but he's hardly pitched at all. So he's at the back end of the rotation, and you're just hoping to build him as you go forward. At the end of the day, it sure looks like your rotation is Nick Pivetta, 11-3, with a mystical season, and then everybody else you're wishing and hoping for. Now, you can call, what's the area code in El Paso? You can call El Paso and bring Randy Vasquez back, but we all know what that is. That's 3+ innings. You could bring Matt Waldron back, but Waldron has not dominated in the National League since the middle of last summer. And I just don't think Kyle Hart or any J.P. Sears are the answer. So my gut feel is we know the potential of what this Padres staff could be if it's all in place. But right now, it's not proven, aside from the greatness of Nick Pivetta. So we'll talk about this whole Padres situation going forward. You tell me where they are. A little bit concerned about this experiment with Yu Darvish's arm slot. That first time he did it, he was dominant. Second time he did it, the ball was all over the place, including 3 balls that could have been wild pitches, wound up being balls to the backstop. So we got that storyline. We talked a week ago today at the baseball trade deadline about the brilliance of A.J. Preller and the deals that A.J. Preller was going to make. And then we got on the air Monday and we talked about, my God, he made 5 trades in 7 hours and he traded the whole farm system away. And they must have given him a little leeway with the payroll. Well, they did not. What we found out yesterday through the Baltimore Sun is that the acquisitions of the 2 bats who came from the Orioles, they got Baltimore to pay virtually all the salary of Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano. But that's why it wound up being a 6-for-2 trade, as Preller kept going back to the Orioles and asked Mike Elias, would you pay up more of the contracts? I can't take these contracts on. Baltimore's general manager came back and said, sure, you throw me another one of your young players. And that's how it wound up being 6-for-2 going to the Orioles, because the Birds are picking up 80% of the contract. And, of course, Preller did the exact same thing last year with the Miami Marlins when he got Luis Ariz.
Right.
But he had to overpay in terms of talent going if you're asking Marlins to eat the contract. It was really interesting to see how this whole thing worked out. We thought that he had taken on $4.7 million. He only took on $1.2 million for this year because he got these other teams to pay the salaries, but he had to fork over what was left in the farm system to make that happen. So we got all things Padre baseball proven or just potential because we don't know about these guys. You agree or disagree with me?
On the pitching, I'm not really concerned. I mean, I think we if you assemble all of our guys and like to your point, are they going to be playing at the highest peak level? There are questions, but generally speaking, pitching hasn't been our problem this year. It's been the hitting, the timely hitting, the clutch hitting, runners in scoring position hitting is where my concern is. So if you got a starting rotation, and yeah, you got Pivetta out there, let's just say Yu Darvish is solid. He's not spectacular he's like a good If we have that, if Michael King, I think is going to be fine. I mean, he was out for
You don't know that. You're doing this
no, but he was
podcast
just pitching in like El Paso and he threw. He has no pain.
and he got lit up.
It's El Paso. What's the area code there? So I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Nestor Cortez looked pretty good last night, except for a couple of pitches. He went almost 5 innings, didn't he? So it's the hitting that's the concern, and I'm really worried about this roster construction because, it was weird last night because Tatis wasn't in right field and he looked like he was in the dumps when he was sitting in the dugout.
Well, he was burned out. They wanted to give him 48 hours off. They gave him obviously Wednesday night off. Thursday night, there is no game. So he'll have had 48 hours with the next game, the weekend series, important series, credibility series, because they're playing the Red Sox. They're damn hot too.
Yeah. So he's an interesting mystery to figure out. Hopefully he fixes it. But still, you saw that configuration with O'Hearn in right field, which was interesting. And, you had a rise at first base, and then you're wondering, well, if Tatis came back, O'Hearn hits the home run. You like to keep him in the mix, but Laureano's already in left field. So I think there's some questions of, do you want to go with O'Hearn or a rise at first base? And maybe that's where the platoon needs to be.
Except that a rise hits all the time. O'Hearn occasionally hits a home run. Different. I think I'd rather have a rise for the 4 at-bats than I would wishing and hoping with O'Hearn. Work in progress. And here come the Red Sox. And those guys are rolling. They've got maybe the youngest team in terms of batting order that I've seen in a long time. And virtually everybody in Boston's hitting the ball, led by the guy who's still there, Jarren Duran. He's pushed his batting average up to 298.
Nice.
And the Red Sox are just, they're chasing Toronto now. And everybody's blown by the New York Yankees, which is a stunner. So I tell you, we got a great weekend of baseball. We got Padres Bo Sox at Petco. We got Dodgers Blue Jays at Chavez Ravine. And those 2 American League teams coming here, both those teams are really rolling in the American League East.